Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 50.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Ben Sargent. We kick things off with the men's league final versus Asante and Gateway. I grabbed some footage of game 2, and then they ended up playing a game 3 right after, with Asante, of course, being crowned the victors of the men's league.
It was a very exciting night. Looking forward to talking about it. Continuing the baseball theme, we have a fun snippet of Kathleen Rochon talking about the West Nipissing area winning the Jays Care Field of Dreams contest the Toronto Blue Jays put together, and that will see them get money to put towards new community baseball fields.
We also have Corey Jackson called in, and I spoke to him about Action MMA. They recently had Quest for the Title 7 that they held at the West Ferris Arena, and it was a rounding success. So we talk about some of the winners and the bouts and fights, as well as what it takes to, put on a fight like that.
All of that on the way, but first a word from today's sponsor, the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation.
Dear North Bay, you've always been more than a place on the map. You're home to me. This is where I built a life with my husband, raised our kids, and taught in local schools for over 24 years. I'm proud to be part of this community. Earlier this year, my world shifted. After living with anxiety, depression, and PTSD for much of my life, I reached a point where I couldn't keep going alone. Walking into the emergency department at the North Bay Regional Health Center was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But what I found there changed everything. A nurse who made me feel safe, a crisis worker who truly listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. That care gave me hope, and it inspired me to give back by supporting local healthcare so that others in our community can access the same compassionate care I did. If my story resonates with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the NBRHC Foundation. Please visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give. Because mental health is health. With gratitude, Tiffany Van Meer.
So I was on vacation last week, but I did stop by, and I saw you there.
We ran into each other. Yeah.
But I stopped by for game 2 between Gateway and Asante. They were playing. Gateway won the first game 16-14, by the way, which was insane. And then they ended up playing game 2. I think it was Wednesday night last week, and it was a very tight winner go home game for Asante, which they ended up winning 5-2. And then as they were kind of nearing the end, I saw Jacob going out and talking to the umpire. I think this is right when you got there.
So Emmett and a bunch of his teammates, actually I'll back it up even on Monday, they've been so hyped to want to go watch. They've been going to games all year because...
I did see them. I think they were the ones running around that I saw them a couple times.
Their crew has kind of grown too, because it started with Sullivan, Ace, and Emmett, because Sully's dad actually plays on Eastside Marrows. We would go, they'd hang out with Jacob or Curtis if Asante was playing. They'd be going through Topley's bag, looking at all of his old gear and stuff that he's got, and they just loved going. So we would be taking them. So I dropped them off. I think I ran somebody to another rink or something, came back, and they're sitting on the side. And what they had said was Asante got down quite a bit early in the first game. It was like 7-2, 8-2. So they jokingly kicked the kids off the bench because they said they were bad juju. And the kids didn't understand that, so they started saying bad jubes. So that became kind of a running thing. But so Asante clawed their way back. It was a really exciting game. There's even a pretty controversial call on a shortstop where they argued that the ball hit the Asante player, and I think that would have tied it up earlier. Whatever. So it was a great game, lots of excitement, and then queued it up for Wednesday, and then that was the other part. So while I was at the game and maybe after I saw it, that's when I found out that they'd made the decision that they were going to play the second or the third game that night because a lot of the Gateway players, I think, were flying out to a wedding, and
they just couldn't field a team.
And
really.
the guys from Asante were all going back to school, so they were in a rush to get it done. But a rare doubleheader deciding game in a final. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I kind of wish I stayed for game 3 because Asante ended up. It was a very close one. It was 6-5. was the final. So I was only there for, I want to say, about an hour or so of the second game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going back on vacation. It's good. I'm not going to stay till like 10 o'clock tonight, but.
Well, and you could only pull that off in the summer of having a bunch of 10-year-olds staying out because they wanted to stay right till the end. Emmett was made the bold statement that my dad sponsors the league, so I want to hand out the trophy. And I was like, okay, all right, well.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, it was really exciting for them to be a part of it. And it was a beautiful night. Like it was kind of cool, no bugs. Just playing under the lights, the backdrop of the Northland building is so cool. So it was a really, really cool vibe there and really exciting.
It's surprising about the no bugs thing because I played men's league softball this year and we played most of our games at we played all of our games at Johnson.
Yeah.
And there were the bugs near the end. So we ended our season in mid-August.
Yeah.
So the bugs in the last like 2 weeks were really bad.
Yeah.
When we would play at like 8. So I'm surprised that there aren't any bugs there, but I guess you're kind of far enough away from
And I don't
forest
like it was a little bit cooler. Maybe that helped. I have no idea.
Yeah. But there was one game. We were supposed to play one game in Omichelle, which apparently is really bad for bugs. And then they ended up forfeiting.
Because they just didn't want to play it.
They didn't have enough players. It was like 9 p.m. and we're like, we'll take the win. We only won like 3 games, so we'll take the win. But yeah, overall, we grabbed some cool footage. There's a really cool shot of you handing out the trophy. Well, Emmett, handing out the trophy, which is cool. Of course, you were a big sponsor of that whole league, right? You did. How much did you sponsor? Because I know you sponsored the jerseys, and
so that was something that Jacob and I talked about last year, and it was just a great idea. So what we did was, we sponsored the jerseys, so provided all the teams with jerseys. They bought hats to kind of match, and I don't know, it was just kind of a way of elevating maybe a bit of the look of the league and the feel for the guys that are in it. And Jacob's been doing such a great job of. The reporting is better on it. The statistics from Game Changer that they're doing, and it's just trying to, stay on top of that. There's a bit of a momentum wave happening with baseball. The Jays are doing great, so it was just it. And that league was probably one of the earliest ones when I opened the store to sort of work with and partner back when Dave Sad ran it. So I've always had a tie to it. And now with being so involved in baseball and having a son who plays in it and loves baseball and loves to go watch those games, I think it was just a really natural thing. And we want to ensure that league's there so that when the kids that are playing now have something to be a part of, and hopefully it's even bigger. So
speaking of baseball, speaking of all that stuff, it's almost, number one, we say it's almost over, but then we got fall leagues and everything, and we'll get into that. But we do have a really cool thing coming up. Next Saturday, I almost said June, September the 6th, which is Baseball Day in the Bay. Now, this is something that the North Bay Baseball Association is working. Lou Dogs, they surprised, like they're back now, or they're about to be back.
Yeah.
And this is how I found out about it, because I was like, I thought Lou Dogs closed, and then...
So, I can speak to that too. So again, Baseball Day in the Bay is an initiative that Jacob started 4 years ago, I believe. I think this is the 4th one. I'm not... but it's, a way of kind of just having a fun day that is a great fundraiser. They'd identified the food bank.
2,200 pounds, over 2,200 pounds of food items donated.
So, the Senior League, the North Bay Baseball Association, will pick up obviously the cost. There's costs for the fields, there's costs for umpires and things like that. But for the kids to play, it's all free, and it's encouraging donations to the food bank. We're splitting the kids up. They get to play against each other, and then there's the sort of, the highlight of the night is the Senior League playing banana ball, which is, a new thing from the Savannah Bananas that's kind of taken off. It's just different rules, fun way, entertaining. Fun, yeah. And so, Lou Dogs, looking, I guess have been actively, ever since the announcement of the closure, trying to find a local owner so that they can reopen the store. And the stores, or the franchises in Toronto, have a history of a tie with baseball. So they were just coming up here and reached out about having on the 13th Dalton Pompey, a former Blue Jay, now police officer.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, come up and just put something on. And that was when we said, well, if you could find a way to do it the week before, we could tie it into Baseball Day in the Bay. And they jumped on board right away. So, they're really eager to partner with the Senior League, which is great. The more sponsors and the more awareness and stuff that you can have, and it's fun to be at the ball field.
I'm going to be there for some time. At least get some stuff. We'll see. Maybe I can get an interview with Dalton.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to stop by. I don't know how long I'm going to be there because now I have to take my dock out of my cottage. It's that time of year, right?
It's first world problems.
Yes, I'm going to stop by and get something. So we'll have it for the following week. But speaking about the Blue Jays, I did want to bring up one thing too. So yesterday's episode of Echo Essentials, we had Kathleen Rochon on, which is the West Nipissing mayor. And she was talking about West Nipissing stuff, which you're like, how is this connected to sports?
Yep.
But one of the really cool things, and we're going to have a 5-minute clip here of what she talked about, was they actually won Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Which is really neat. And I know that we talked about this yesterday a little bit about, you're trying to get in on that, but it's a really neat initiative where they give, I think they received something like 1.4, I don't remember the actual number, but it was 1 point something million dollars. And I think she said they put another $300K from the city into it, but new dugouts, new, basically kind of like Craft Hockeyville, refurbishing all these fields. And I think it's a great way. Jays Care does an amazing job, by the way, but to give back to all these different communities. Like some of them all over the country, like you had Summerlin, BC, Lower Saxville, Nova Scotia, Waverly, Nova Scotia, Clarington, Ontario, Dutton, Ontario, Hanley, Saskatchewan, Joliet, Quebec. So places all over Canada. And it's actually really neat to see a place like West Nipissing get that recognition.
Well, and I'm really excited. First off, it would be, as much as it's the North Bay Baseball Association, we are very well, like Sturgeon Falls is very well represented in that. And, our Panthers teams often have players. So we really wouldn't be able to, have the success and the growth that we had if it wasn't for Sturgeon. So it's fantastic to see them, being able to reinvest in those fields and bring that back. And hopefully with the work we're doing, we'll be able to, now apply that now that we've got our house in order and got the proper standards to file applications for this. We really want to do this, and that will help us host tournaments. Sturgeon is a nice way. Maybe we can meet some of our Sudbury teams there on a Saturday afternoon.
I mean, we used to play high school baseball there when Franco had a team. I don't know if they still have a team.
I think they did this year. I know they were practicing in the Dome at the start of the season, so they did participate in the NDA. So I don't know if they always have to come in or if teams.
Yeah, back again, this was way back.
Yeah.
But we used to go to that field. It was like right where the A&W was. You turn left, and there's like a field right there. So it's nice to see like that stuff still impacts us here.
Yeah.
But if you were going to if you got money for this, it's like, what are the fields or what were the places that would get impacted or that you'd hope to?
Well, so and that's something the city did apply for a grant that the Conservative government had put out for existing, I guess, recreational facilities and stuff. And unfortunately, they didn't qualify or weren't one of the ones chosen. But we've got little things that, one of my biggest pet peeves, I think, is Kelly and Hanley right now. The backstops are not high enough. So the amount of foul balls, that are flying over, and then the girls softball, there was a tournament at Pelangio, and then there was a tournament going on at Kelly and Hanley. So the parking lot was jammed. Plus, the parking lot had been ripped up to redo the asphalt, which isn't done yet. And then they've ripped up the sidewalks. It was just a perfect storm of chaos. So these poor people not knowing where to park. You show up to the arena. Meanwhile, baseballs are flying at your car. So I would love to see the backstops taller. Some of the fences don't meet the ground, so balls are rolling under there.
Yeah.
The dugouts could be positioned a little bit better. Again, our fields, now that I've gotten to travel to some more, listen, they're not, we've played it worse, but that's really not the standard, especially if we want to start trying to attract people here. Things like crushed gravel versus, dirt and clay. Like, it doesn't cut your knee open.
Johnson's really bad for that. I dove once and my elbow is open for probably 3 or 4 days.
And I will say that Johnson and Centennial and I believe Lennox are actually all better than Hanley and Kelly because it is really crushed gravel.
Yeah. I do have a funny story, though, about is Kelly the one that's closer to the street?
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess they still don't. Do they still do 3-pitch at the kind of elementary?
Yeah, there's a
school?
3-pitch tournament that they hold for the elementary schools. They do boys one day and girls the next day.
Yeah, so back when it was like Silver Birches and Fricker and like all those schools, we had I was asked to umpire, right? Yeah. And which is really just like you stand there and then call outs. Like it's not super hard. But I'll never forget this one guy. He hits a foul ball and it goes towards it's Wallace Street, I think is that street. There's a truck driving by. The softball goes through the guy's back windshield.
Yeah.
And all you see, and we're just standing there like looking, and all you see is this guy slow down, and then he just keeps going. And it was the weirdest.
Yeah.
Like it was perfect because it's one of those little truck
like
back windshields. And we were all just looking like, oh my God. And there's nothing you can do. Like it's nobody's fault. It was just one of those freak accidents. And the guy just kept going, and we're like, okay, but that will always be seared into my brain whenever I think of that. That and umpiring mosquito, which is not great. But anyways, we do have this quick conversation that we had on Essentials. So it's about a 5-minute clip. So let's throw it over to Chris and Kathleen.
What else do you have in the community right now that's like kind of growing or fostering, or you're building something right now?
One thing that happened this year that was really exciting is that we were one of, I believe, about 10 communities across Canada that was successful in getting funding from Jays Care Foundation.
As in the Blue Jays?
As in the Blue Jays for refurbishment of our baseball fields at Goulard Park. So, the cost covers some of the cost for one field, but council has stepped up and budgeted some money. So we have 2 baseball fields at that park, and both will be getting a full makeover.
Wow.
One has lights and everything, but it's fencing, it's field work, it's bleachers and dugouts, and really will make a huge difference in Goulard Park. So, Goulard Park's right in the center of town. It is our major kind of sports and recreation center. It sits just off of our recreation center with our indoor pool and our community hall and our arena, all co-located in the same block. And so, there's been a bit of a push in the community for several years. I mean, predating our council back to 2016, to look at redevelopment and refreshing Goulard Park because there's some work to do there.
Okay.
And so getting this grant and being successful with this application really kind of lets us put that first step in. For a major park redevelopment like this, you're talking millions of dollars in total. And our council, in our discussions about Goulard Park, we've always been, we can't do it all at once. We don't have the kind of money to do that, but we can phase things, and we can, take it one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So the tender for the project is actually on our website right now. We're expecting to start work during the fall season. So we didn't want to interrupt the current baseball season.
Of course
not. So, we're looking to start September, October, maybe into November, depending on what Mother Nature allows us to do.
Fair.
And then doing the finishing work in the spring so that by the time baseball season starts for 2026, we'll have 2 brand new diamonds in Goulard Park. So it's a pretty exciting project. And to be successful, we know that there was a ton of applications received. And I do have to give a shout out to Councillor Chris Rivard, who was the one who came across the funding opportunity and brought it to council.
Well done.
And of course, council was absolutely supportive of it. Our staff did a great job, obviously, in preparing the applications. And we actually had a watch party. They did announce it live just before a Blue Jays game back in the spring. So we had a watch party, and it was super exciting to be in the room when we found out we were the winners.
That's when you found out?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was really exciting. We had families and kids and some of our baseball people there, and
that's super cool.
It was a pretty exciting day for us.
That's awesome. 1 of 10 in Canada.
I think it was 10. I mean, you might want to fact check, but there wasn't a whole lot of there was a couple.
Few.
Yeah, there was a couple in the Maritimes, a couple in Quebec. Okay. Couple here, and then I think 4 or 5 across the west. Yeah. So maybe it was 15, but it was very limited number, and we did get almost 150. I think it was $148,000 on that. So
very good for you. That's awesome. I take credit for this. I'm going to drag our producer Ben in here. I got Ben back into baseball, and I say baseball, I mean softball, which I know they're different sports, but same athlete, mostly the same athlete, same game. We had a lot of fun this year, but I think the field we played at was good for us and our hitting distance, but I really didn't like the dirt because whenever I slid, it would just destroy, my softball pants. So I guess not that I have any stake in this dog in this fight. I've never been to Goulart Park. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll go and visit.
I can tour you around West Nipissing. We've got some really cool things going on. So
fantastic. Well, I'll take a look, but it sounds fantastic. So,
it's going to be fantastic, and congratulations for still being able to slide at your age.
It's tough every single time. Oh, so Ben did pull it up.
There we go.
So for those who can't see on our screen, and that's solely up to Ben's choice. 15 organizations across 6 provinces will receive funding to build, enhance, or refurbish local baseball diamonds in their community. And this stretches, as Kathleen said, basically from east to west. Yeah. I can list them all, but it's funny. It says Toronto. I mean, okay, but then it says like West Nipissing right beneath it. So there you are.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Exciting. Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Pretty cool. So what a good time to hop on. You did this before, but the Jays are peaking right now. So we're recording this in late August.
Absolutely.
They are killing it right now. Awesome. Well done.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having lots of years of really great baseball in West Nipissing.
It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street, and let us help you along your way.
North Bay's turning 100, and what a time to be here. From the buzz of the Heritage Parade to sunset concerts at the waterfront, the city is alive with celebration. And you know who's right in the middle of it all? Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. We're proud to be a part of this milestone moment. Whether you're coming home from a family reunion, planning a gathering with friends, or just simply making the most of everything the Centennial has to offer, our doors are open. Stay in a spacious suite that feels like home, with a full kitchen to cook in, room to relax, and a space to unwind after a full day of fun. Are you hosting something bigger? Our event spaces and amazing local partners like the Grand and Stock Transportation make it easy to bring people together. Best of all, they're just steps from the action. The fireworks, the food trucks, the music, the laughter, it's all right here. Celebrate 100 years of North Bay with us. Use code Centennial to save on your stay anytime this year. Be at home with Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. Join the party today at 495 Oak Street West or give us a call at 705-495-3000.
A couple of Chippewa students had a great time in Welland as part of the North Bay Canoe Club, and this is via their Facebook page. So congratulations to the North Bay Canoe Club on their great results at the Ontario Canoe Club Championships held in Welland this past weekend. A great article on Bay Today outlines all the great results. Well done to Evelyn Ross, Callum Lavery, Caleb Cash, Finley Ross, Carson Virich, and Lily McClellan. And Eddie Mass, as well as their teammates from other schools. Evelyn Ross heads to Nationals next week.
I made sure to give you the names.
Yeah.
So you had to read those ones out.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that.
I don't know if that's the same, because we did the Dragon Boat a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's not the same weekend, but same place that the Warriors of Hope went. So apparently Welland is the place to canoe.
Well, in St. Catharines, they've got sort of waterways that are set up for it. So I know when I drive to Niagara, you can usually see this more of the rowing versus the canoe, but they've got like the markers in the water and stuff. Mm-hmm. And every now and then you'll see people doing they're on the Potomac River in Washington.
It's wild. All right, so up next we've got Corey Jackson is going to join us. I had a really great conversation with him via online. He remoted in, and I reached out to him because I saw on Facebook that they had Quest for Title 7. I knew that was coming up. I was out of town because I was on vacation. But then when I saw that, I'm like, hey, I'll reach out to Corey, and Corey agreed to come on, and we just talk a little bit about the card, which is great. A little bit about organizing that, because that's, this as an organizer, but it is it's a lot to organize something like that. And they did it at the West Ferris Arena, which apparently he said was a great venue.
So when we had him on probably a couple months ago, he was mentioning some of that and preparing for it. Again, that coincided with the Bay Block Party, which, by the way, was very cool. Mm-hmm. I almost felt like I was vacationing in another city.
Wasn't there because I was on vacation, so I missed that one too.
I had a rare weekend off, and I got to really, it's just really so great to see the activity. There's the farmers market, and then they had stuff going all down on the
Bay
street.
City Ballers.
Bay City Ballers, they had their event going too. So like
the Trues were there.
It was a really, really great weekend, and nice to just kind of enjoy North Bay, and a nice reminder of how lucky we are to live where we are, and all of the amazing amenities that we have that maybe we don't use all the time.
And it's not that I want to get super off topic here, but usually it was the Heritage Festival, which was more music kind of oriented. It is nice to see them do something that goes beyond music. And it really utilizes the downtown core and all these different things that happen. It's more of a party. And I think it's understated how cool of a place it is. An event.
It was really good. So I walked in on the interview and just sat at the side while you were talking to Corey, late as usual. But they really, kudos to them for putting that on and all the work that goes in. Hopefully that's the first of more to come, because it is great. And I heard you kind of talking to him, like, traditionally some of the wrestling or other events might be held in smaller halls or auditoriums that don't have the seating capacity. So
he said there's about 400 people that were there, and they stayed all the way to the end, which was really cool. But I was also thinking about this too with the West Ferris Arena, of course, going out of commission. What are they going to do with that building? Is there an opportunity to use it for these events? Because there's not really a place outside of, I think, like Dan was saying, the guy who does Northland Wrestling, he's like Trinity Church, and I know Odyssey does a lot. Is there a way that we can convert this into a place to do more of these events, do more wrestling, or do more?
I think honestly, the only limit would be people's imagination. Like, what can we do? And hopefully, whoever the maybe gatekeepers of that imagination can relax some red tape or help see that vision so that it happens, because sometimes just getting a straight up no doesn't help the people that want to bring more things to our community.
And there's that community center above as well. Like, people don't know that, but there is a whole place up there that people, I don't know how well it's used now, but it used to be used all the time.
I mean, I've had my kids have been up there for birthday parties and stuff that people have rented out or different meetings. So it's there, it's in the community, and it's a structure that is currently existed and doesn't need to be built up. I don't really understand all of the snowfall issues on a round roof, but that's a conversation, I guess, for council when they're done dealing with council stuff.
So let's throw over to the conversation we had with Corey Jackson. Well, we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Corey Jackson, who's been on this program a couple of times now. As Corey, you guys just recently, Action MMA put on this great event, Quest for the Title 7, the first time you did this event in North Bay at the West Ferris Arena. Tell us a little bit about how that went.
Well, it went awesome. It's a put together event sanctioned through WACO Canada, which is, the presidents of the organization show up with chief officials, ringside officials, judges, ringside doctor. It's all safe, well planned out and organized. for the safety of the athlete, and for us to be able to display the sport that we all love so much in Muay Thai kickboxing.
So this was just specifically a kickboxing event, right?
It was just a kickboxing event. It's stand, strike, all depending on the discipline. There's catches and kicks and sweeps and, knees and, clinch, just it's a stand-up striking bout, kind of, one-on-one, and see who arm gets raised in the end. If you can even go the distance, it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, so there were a lot of really interesting, if you look at the fight card, I think it's on the Topology website, there were a lot of interesting fights. So let's go through a couple of them. Maybe what the main event here, which was, I think, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Chawali McDowell.
You did it awesome.
Perfect. Who defeated Josh Beaton. So maybe break that fight down a little bit.
Yeah, well, it come out, 400 people strong, Josh started off well in the clinch, and McDowell realized that Josh was the bigger, stronger opponent. So after Josh had swept him on the canvas, McDowell just got up and just went and threw a whole bunch of like a 12-punch kick, spinning heel kick, and ended up catching Josh with a spinning heel kick to the head, and it was pretty hard and significant. He had troubles getting up. He was weary. The referee had given him a standing 8 count, and he was not able to step forward. Well, he tipped back a bit. So unfortunately, it was called. But Josh has got his friends there, his family there. The organization is taught and learned to make sure that know when to call the fight. And he took it like an all-star and a champ. And the way he took it shows just the professionalism in him and what we as a team, as Action MMA, bring to the table with, accepting, we know stepping into the ring, it's the unexpected. We don't know what's going to happen. So, you got to take it as it comes and goes. And, Josh is a son-in-law of mine, and we've been together many times, and ups and downs. It's going in smiling as a team and leaving smiling as a team, and being thankful that we got to do what we wanted to in the end.
Now that was, if this is correct, 40 seconds into the match, eh? So
it was 40 approximately. Yeah.
Yeah. So being the main event, as the person who's putting this on, and even in the audience, is there a bit of almost a disappointment there with it being as short as it was?
Well, it does, and we've been down there too. We've traveled before, and we've finished their opponents in their hometown in 30, 40 seconds. And hey, it's a crowd silencer, and yeah, it was over, but, we all stuck around. We all hung out. We all, had our team picture in the ring, and, we had belts. We won belts, and we lost battles. So it's a win-win situation, for us to be able to host what we did as a club. There's no bigger win than that, to be able to have our friends and family support us as they wake up at home and fight at the West Ferris Arena.
Absolutely. How was so this is your first time at the West Ferris Arena. How was that experience? Because I know we talked to Dan from Northland Wrestling before, and he does his he usually does his in churches, or I know Odyssey does like a lot of stuff as well. But this is the first time that I think I've heard of an event like this in the West Ferris Arena. So what was that like?
It was just electrifying. The venue was so well spaced out. Our dressings and our spread that we had brought to the table with all of our staff and volunteers, everything was well organized. With the La Casa de Maria as our caterer, with our alcohol, we had servers with their sips. It was just well planned out, and yes, what a venue, and a good turnout. One of the best we've worked out in a while.
Wow, and you got a good turnout. Like you were pleased with the crowd coming out. And
yeah, normally after 8-9 fights, a lot of the crowd has already left. We had 400 from start to the end of the last bell of our 14th bout with Josh Beaton as our main event.
That's crazy. Now, speaking about because I find this fascinating. We can talk about the fights, we can talk about all this stuff, but putting on an event. of this magnitude, right? We're talking about 400 people being there, all the staff you have to have, volunteers. Maybe give us a little bit of a rundown on what that's like for you as an organizer and what it's like for Action MMA to try to put on that kind of event.
Well, it's definitely daunting, overwhelming at times because you've got so many things going on. You've got only such little time to make this all happen. You also got 3.5 hours to get 12 fights in while you're giving away door prizes and presenting awards as well. So us being there, done that 6th and now our 7th time, we're really starting to get a ball rolling, and it's just getting more exciting and more better as we go. And it's showing. It's definitely showing. I was apprehensive on Quest 8, but after what we brought to the table and how well organized it was. Or 7, sorry, 8 is coming at us. I'm definitely, flirting with that in my mind as we speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. And hopefully are you thinking West Ferris again? Like the arena probably going to go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah, they worked with us very diligently. They accepted us and there was no problems.
So take me through the card a little bit. Like give me your top 3 matches of the night that you thought were, for you personally, were your favorite?
Okay, Jade Shelton versus Jillian Johannan out of Sudbury Kickboxing Academy, and Jade was out of T-Mac, out of Timmins. It was a back-and-forth battle. Jillian won the first round, and Jade came back in the second round with a flurry of punches and kicks and in numbers, and then repeated that in the next round and won that match. Another match that was really surprising for me was Serena, and these were in the light kick competition, and Serena was her debut against a girl, Rincey Edison, and that was so close for Serena to come out with a split decision loss. She really won in our eyes because it's her first debut ever. I can go down the list. Let's go to Arthur Millet and Mauricio Pilato. Wow. Arthur Millet, the movie star, he was on the stage in his element, and, he knew his role. He knew what he had to do, and he followed it to a T, and he walked out with his arm raised in the red corner and walked away with the Quest for the Title 7 championship title belt. Louis Sutherland was versus Oliver Braceau out of Timmins, and Louis Sutherland is with our Action MMA team, and Oliver was all over him, and Louis was looking like he needed to, do something, and somehow Oliver hurt himself throughout that match, and unfortunately, it's not the way Louis wanted to win. But kudos to Louis for making it to the 3rd round, and Oliver not being able to go to distance due to injury. So Louis won that championship title due to referee stoppage, via win of referee stoppage for a Quest for the Title 7, a title championship belt as well.
So are all these matches for titles, or?
The last 6 on the card was Ryan Monroe, too. He fought a guy out of Burlington Bay Athletic Community Center, and he won a unanimous decision, via unanimous decision. So we won 3 out of 6 belts on the main card. And not everything goes the way we wanted to. Aiden the Delivery Boy Danvers fought Ethan Boyd. What an animal that guy is, Ethan. He was all over him. Aiden has range, but Ethan was really taking it away from him by putting on the pressure, and he won via unanimous decision.
Yeah. So going into Quest for the Title 8, I guess now that we're going into, what was the thing that you learned from this event that you want to maybe do better, or you want to maybe do something a little bit different going into next year? You want to make it even bigger, better? Like what are the plans for next year?
Good question. My brain is still a little foggy. I'm still dealing with a whole bunch of stuff that I have to deal with. So I haven't really gotten to that point of that question, but there is always room for improvement. There's always room for getting better and learning. Experience is his greatest teacher. So this experience was a great experience as well for us. And we want to thank, our local gyms, that participated, the sponsors, all that stuff. Something like that would be something that I would look at a little bit more and making sure that they're put out there a bit more, our sponsors. Again, I don't want to talk too much out my tongue, but learning, the experience was a win. So we learned that it was a great time and that we'd like to do it again.
Nice. So before we get you out of here, what's up next? What's the next big event for you guys coming up?
Well, we have in-house events, and we're looking at an in-house. It's going to be our 10th year anniversary of being in North Bay on Main 221 Algonquin, and we're going to be hosting our 10th anniversary Oktoberfest, where we have all different disciplines in jiu-jitsu matchups and striking matchups, and they come. Clubs come from all over Ontario. We could have up to like 60 matches, and it's busy throughout the whole day. And this will be like our 10th one in the last 10 years because we host one every year.
Well, congratulations to you and all the people who are on the card, both winners and losers. But it was seems like it was a fantastic event, and congratulations again.
It was. Thank you very much, Ben, for your time, and we appreciate having us on your segment.
High school's finally, school in general is finally back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you were very excited for this.
I don't like wishing summer away, but I do like getting back to more of a scheduled routine.
Yes, especially, for sure. So we are looking to do some previews of what's coming up. So next week, we're going to try to get some schedules and when stuff is starting, try and get that information. Maybe get some of the coaches. I know we're trying to do something football-wise.
Yep.
If we can get kind of coordinate everything with school coming back, it's going to be a little difficult, but we're going to try to put some sort of preview or talk about it or something. As the other awkward thing is not a lot of stuff's happening in these next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then finally, like the Lakers are starting, the Panthers are starting, football's starting, all these things. So it's going to be fun going into year 2.
Yep.
And see what we can get and see what stuff, because it'd be nice to try to be a little bit more balanced and to cover some of the stuff that may, like badminton or other things that maybe golf. I don't know. Stuff that we didn't get to.
And looking to hear from the athletes themselves. And I know one lesson I think that was learned over this year is like the importance of involving those kids. So we're really, I have been talking to some the athletic directors at schools, trying to see like who have we got that we can identify. There's some kids that I know that are friends of my kids, or teammates of employees that we have, and kids with just some great attitudes and a different perspective, and I'd love to hear them, and I think it's a cool experience. So that's the one thing we're going to try to push more of.
We're definitely building some stuff in the back end to make not just our lives easier, but also to get more people involved and have these different correspondents, different people on the ground getting different things, because it's also a great experience for them as well. And it's also a little different when you have your peers talking to you, interviewing you, or whatever the case is. So, we hopefully in the wide world of dreams, we have some cool stuff that's going to be coming up this season. But I guess that wraps things up for the 50th Sportscast, which is
pretty amazing. It's
pretty
we're
big.
Still standing here after 50. Yep.
Yeah, we've both been here the whole time.
Yep.
And so it's gonna be a fun year.
Yeah, amazing. All right, well. For the Echo Sportscast number 50, I'm Paul McLean.
I'm Ben Sargent.
Please like, share, and if you've got any ideas, reach out to us. We look forward to working with everybody in a great second year.